Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Eternity in Jersey City, our first 10 episode full-length series as Twilight visual for your blasphemous pleasure. If you missed the premiere, it is up on YouTube as we speak. This was the script from episode 2. If you missed episode 2, it's also up on YouTube as we speak. And we also once again had a beautiful recap voice acted by our beautiful Vinvox VA up on our TikTok, as well as Blueski, and edited by our omniscient co-producer Fabian, who is out there in the world. Meet us after the break for some Bad House specific announcements. For today's show, as per usual, our usual content warnings for the show can be found by the Twitch command !EJCCW. Cast command is !EJCcast, and a little summary of the show can be found at !EJC. Our usual content warnings for the show are going to be Christian trauma. The music stopped. Here we go. Intense body horror, intense gore, intense depictions of blood, cannibalism, forced drowning, mind control and manipulation, being buried alive, and other dark themes. Today, we will be adding lobotomies, internalized homophobia, and misogyny. Viewer discretion is advised. Take care, per usual. Rewards are back. Please make sure to check out !tip to find our Streamlabs tip link, or go to our channel points in chat. $10 or 1,000 bits allows a vampire of your choice to give a free willpower reroll up to 3 non-hunger dice. $20 or 2,000 bits allows a vampire of your choice to rewrite time and experience a flashback. Good old City of Mist feature. At the moment, Kendo is the only one that has a reroll locked and loaded. My name is Josephine, at Scary Dog Friend on socials, and I will be your storyteller and your alchemist empress of New Jersey. I will pass it off to B.
Hello, everyone. I'm Benar, they, them, and I am going to be playing Sal, he, him. And I remember the turn order, yes. I'm going to pass it off to Vin, who is muted, my love.
Hi guys, I'm Vin at Vinvox on all the socials except Blue Sky. That is vinvox.com, which is also my website because I am a voice actor and tabletop performer. Tonight I'll be playing Candy. Don't worry about it. Kendo, what are you up to?
Humble brag.
Yo, my name is Kendrick or Kendo, whichever you prefer. I'll use any and all pronouns you ain't using. And once more, I'm playing King, who uses he, him pronouns, because he's a cis straight man. Hey!
I guess I have to follow that up. Hey,
Yeah, you
hi
do.
there. My name's Wes Franks. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on the internet at carrion-comfort.com. That's my website, but that's also my Blue Sky. If you want to find me elsewhere, it's Carrion X Comfort, like it's an Xbox 360 gamer tag from 2009. And I play Carbon. Pronouns he, it. Because of kink-related reasons, probably. I don't know. We haven't gotten into it yet. And Carbon is a Nosferatu anti-tribu.
Yet.
Okay. Obviously, we have come in with an energy today, y'all, so we'll see what happens. For our recap for this moment. The 4 apostles take Jesus Christ out for a Montero hunt, led by Carbon and his pack. 6 sacrifices are drowned in graceful baptism, but Jesus did not yet partake of the blood. As each of the inner circle baptize a sacrifice with some amount of theatrics, jealousy takes root between Carbon and King. Although Sal and Candy bicker, Candy remains cool and non-committal, while Sal begins to notice a preference in Jesus Christ's tastes. When Jesus selfishly demands for the bodies to be carried away, he decides that he wants to dance. Candy takes the torch and introduces him to her nightclub franchise, the Marquis. She dresses him, and he is entranced with her. Sal gives King the brief lowdown about Sal and Candy's divorce. King regales Sal about the analogy of the blue Power Ranger and Jesus Christ, and Candy gives Jesus the performance of a lifetime. Laying out like Lady Godiva to be worshipped, Jesus asks to baptize someone on top of Candy, asks to open her. He straddles Candy and tears a hole inside of her abdomen, lifting her ribcage to create a well of wet gore. Sal drowns a twink inside of his ex-wife, which does lead to King and Carbon needing to act fast, as no one can escape the Marquis after tonight. Carbon tears off to release tension, barreling himself into a building to taste the fire that killed him but truly birthed him. And in the aftermath, Duskborn swim across the Hudson River to be received by Carbon's pack. Let's start things off right, and let's ask all of you to give me a rouse check.
So what happens if I don't
succeeds.
get a success?
You get hungrier, and that'll track automatically in Demiplane.
Yatta. A success.
A big fat ditto, also a success.
Do I just get
Success?
one for failing?
Yes. What's everyone at the moment? You should be at 2, King.
I should be at 2?
Well, did you fed actually yesterday, so you should be fine. Okay, so we got 1, 1, 3. Carbon's a 0. Amazing.
I eat what I kill.
Amazing. Carbon West, can you just make sure to check your microphone in Google Meet really quick? But we are going to focus now on a scene with King. In the long corridors of the Ark of Eternity, King, you and, unfortunately, your annoying partner, Akihiro, who has been named to be the Apostle Matthew. The two of you watch and are guided, sort of toured around, honestly. As Jesus Christ begins to show you a great aquarium of sorts. This aquarium is filled with 4 bodies from last night. The dead, bobbing up and down bodies. Notably, not including the young woman that Candy drowned. One of them was eaten by the pack last night. So this morbid collection, the bits and pieces of skin and clothing sloughing off and sort of melting away in whatever concoction is maintaining, or really not doing very well to maintain. The skin bloated, blue, and cold. It's almost as if that Romeo and Juliet movie scene, but really, there's no other wall on the other side, no other Romeo or Juliet. It is just Jesus Christ looking upon himself with this great wall, this great trophy. In the basement of some Ark of Eternity art installation, you and Akihiro stand. Jesus today is dressed in a white shirt, extremely low cut and low rise black jeans as well. No shoes, but entirely covered in rings and jewelry and all sorts of things. He's beginning to graduate to some kind of crown-like thing. Not quite the crown of thorns, but maybe he'll wear a bit of a headband, bandana, something a bit low in fashion, and then another day, what seems to be a quite expensive tiara-like thing. Today, we'll take on that tiara. Jesus has not taken a chance to look at Matthew, but Judas or King, you will notice him stealing glances at you from time to time. He gestures up at his trophies, this aquarium, again, of sorts. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, I guess if you like the whole undersea look, vibe, deal, yeah, it's kind of beautiful.
I think you left the Google Meets as well, or something happened.
Oh, I probably did because I had to redo a thing. That's
Okay.
on me. I'll join right now.
No worries. There's a bit of a disappointed, like, eyebrow arc. What would suit you a bit better, do you think? How would you have your great trophies of baptism laid out?
Well, that's a tough question. Partially because I don't normally do the whole baptism thing. That was the first for me yesterday, which was fun. But it's not my usual go-to. I'm not one for hanging trophies. I'm a bagger, you see.
Akihiro, rather, takes just another chance to just bring it up. It just kind of takes the chance to scoff silently to himself. Jesus picks it up, obviously, immediately. What was that? Akihiro looks up at Jesus. It's unusual, my lord.
Yeah, you see, Canaanites like me don't tend to prefer our drink from the bag. They like it from the source, a particular source. My particular source just happens to be well preserved, I think. That's the way I like to see it. Drink on the go.
Convenience, Jesus says, seems to be the college's preferred method of things in general. There isn't something more lavish or artistic that you seek.
Oh, I get my I get my kicks another way. I'll leave the lavishness for those who need to be seen. I'll sit back and watch.
From what I experienced yesterday, King Judas, you most certainly must be seen.
Can I want to get a I want to understand here in this moment. I think King is trying to prod at what exactly is Jesus's angle in this moment? Is he just sussing me out? He keeps giving me these glances. There's like this weird vibe, and I guess King is trying to like figure out what's his goal here. What's his aim?
That can be a charisma insight.
Okay. Things I'm not great at. No,
Do you have better wits?
No. I mean, I do have better wits, but I can do charisma. That's fine.
Okay.
Charisma insight. Roll. That is 4 successes.
Okay.
And there's this red onk here, and I don't know if I think that's a hunger die. That hit a 1. I don't know if that means anything.
No, you didn't fail, so it's all good.
Okay, cool.
So you asked, what's with all the glances? What's with...
Yeah. What's the deal?
It's flirting, King. And you know what flirting is and what it sounds like, what it feels like from especially a white man in higher power. It's a lot of, show me what you are. Show me what you can do. Everything you show him is for whatever reason so novel.
Okay. Just pocketing that information.
Akihiro just clears his throat the entire time as well. King, you're noticing that Jesus has been making Akihiro take note of everything. I think it's not too much to have you realize that, like, this is just what he thinks that Matthew would do or would be. Rather than John the Beloved, the actual scribe, just the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, the guys who write the stories down over and over and over again. Akihiro, it's not that he can feel disgust, but he can't. There's not a necessary instinct for him to want to vomit as much as maybe his just body gives away. There's just, he finds all of this distasteful, but in a way that obviously he cannot say about our Lord and Savior.
I think with that, after OJC says that, I turn to Akihiro and go, what do you think? Beautiful, right?
It's just whispers to the ground, fuck you. I think it's magnificent, Judas. I think there is no greater way to show not just a power, but a care that you have for these people, my lord. You did an incredible job to see to it that preservation or almost goldfish-like your worshippers can be and will be. Jesus Christ just nods. Roundabout, but I appreciate your opinion, Matthew.
My lord, if I may call you that.
Of course.
Is there anything in this world that you've been dying to experience?
There are many things that I can't even think of. Can't even
Oh, surely you can think of
dare
one.
to name.
If you could do anything tonight, what would it be?
The home of the vultures. They have an interesting philosophy, don't they? Something about studying the ways and all that we can experience death or witness it, study it. All of this is just some greater study on death, some greater understanding of the afterlife. I want to test my body's limits.
You want to see if you can die, or how close you can get without crossing over?
I suppose. I mean, I haven't even experienced getting blown up. I haven't shot myself. I haven't processed myself through a turbine or something like that. I haven't stuck something into my brain and just saw what happened.
You could get more creative, you realize.
Oh, I'm sure. Do you have an idea?
You see, the thing about all the things you suggested is we know that won't kill you. How fun could that be? How about do something where you might actually bite it? There's this rooftop bar. I own it, of course. But we can party till dawn, if you'd like. See just how long you could last.
Well, Judas, I have to tell you, that is among one of the first two things that I did try.
Oh, really?
And just as Jesus Christ walked out to all of the children and the animals and all of the penitents, he walked out into the sunlight and he did not burn. And when I raised my hand to a great fire, I did not run.
I'm sure that information would tell King something about who he is. My only assumption is that tells me he's Duskborn, potentially. Or...
Potentially.
Or in some other way, the sun does not affect him. Okay.
King will remember this.
Yeah, King will remember this. Okay. So sun, that's not enough for you. You have to find something that would actually get you close to that wonderful, wonderful line between now and never. So, I guess it's time we start experimenting.
Would you like to see all the ways that I can deform myself sometime? Just between Jesus and Judas.
Are you asking me on a date?
I suppose I feel like a date needs some wine, some food.
Surely Jesus could provide wine and water. Perhaps loaves and fishes.
He looks up at his aquarium. Why don't I show you what it looks like?
I'm willing to watch, but I want you to know, Jesus, I'm hard to get.
Well, it's not much of a get you later so much as it is I'm going to show you now what the baptism last night all leads up to. Matthew, why don't you retrieve one of the bodies? Akihiro wearing like a full pea suit and like holding like full paper, like notebook and ledger. Lord, surely there's...
Come on, Matthew, our Lord has asked of you, so you must do.
Okay. There is what seems to be an incredibly tall ladder and like open space at the top, basically. There isn't like a... Well, I think there's like a button basically that slides open the top of like this great aquarium. And Matthew just kind of has to like bob and like pick at the bodies with like this great big like aquarium stick, basically, and then use the rest of the strength, which he does not have, to pull out a waterlogged, bloated body, basically. And Jesus points out the biggest guy that he baptized himself last night. I want that one. And Akihiro goes. Rolls up, it has to take off his suit, the suit jacket, rolls up his sleeves and is like, yes, my lord. Yeah?
I kind of want to do... I kind of want to fuck with them a little bit.
Okay.
Can I use Arms of Amar?
Oh, Jesus
Ahriman
Christ.
to just like have the shadows in the room deepen and like the shadows beneath like the cover of the tank to reach out and like yank the body back in to pull him into the aquarium.
Yes, of course. Do
need a
you have
rouse
to
check.
roll? Yes, rouse.
It's a rouse check for it. 0 successes.
Okay, you get hungrier.
I'm hungry. And then for some reason Demiplane isn't loading the thing, so it's hard for me to read.
All of us dumbasses are probably just overloading its systems, but that's okay. We'll just say at the moment, as your shadowy arms, what's the path of the light and the shadows that you take? Just like you said, from the tank side itself. There we go.
Yeah, okay, there it is. The vampire summons shadowy extensions from unlit spots in the area within line of sight. Local shadows distort, so on and so forth, yada yada yada. The user takes 1 turn and pays the cost, which was the rouse check. Using these, the vampire can perform bludgeoning, grappling attacks against distant targets every subsequent turn. So basically, I'm grappling the body inside of the tank, or even Akihiro himself, to just pull him into the tank of water, is what I'm going for.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
It says Wits Oblivion, I guess.
Yeah,
is
it'll be
what I
a
have to
roll
roll
off
for it.
between the two of us, basically.
Okay, cool. So Wits and Oblivion.
This is great because this is your dumbass Princeton buddy.
That is 1 success.
Akihiro gets 2 successes.
That bastard. If I had Relentless Grasp, that motherfucker.
If I had
If
Relentless
only.
Grasp. You're still gonna make this a living hell for him, basically. As shadows basically crawl in from like the tiniest of waves that Akihiro is just attempting to do his best to lug this body out. There are some struggle, sure signs of something supernatural that will say Jesus is clocking, and the two of you just smile and chuckle to each other. Akihiro huffs, but just manages to just yank it away almost in sort of rhythm with whatever waves is attempting to happen, and doesn't quite see the shadows at fault. But as soon as he is able to grasp hold of at least the scruff of the larger man who was baptized from last night, it all just sort of comes down in like a disgusting wet plap as he just drops it from the top of the ladder. That will suffice. Matthew, you can leave us. Akihiro looks a bit scandalized as like, I've just been recessed by this motherfucker. Akihiro, wet and tired and exerted picks up what he has transcribed and just leaves. Jesus drags easily the waterlogged body of the bigger construction worker, drags over to the light so that the two of you can experience it in the great blue aquarium light. And Jesus just shows you how much it seems like he cares. He shows how compassionate every touch is, basically. Carting the fingers through the hair, moving them aside so that the neck is just a bit more presentable. The clothes are a bit more, if it's more revealing on one side, if the clothes had been melted away or tattered in some fashion, some modicum of modesty for whatever reason. And you can give me another, let this be a wit's insight.
It's 5 successes.
Easy. This isn't because he cares, it's all for show. If he were alone, you wonder what kind of disgusting animal he would turn into, just ravaging and ripping apart the throats of these waterlogged people. But it's all sort of almost strip show in an interesting, flirtatious way between the two of you. And when Jesus drinks from the bodies, it's almost as if he has to chug and suck so much water. It's as truly the sounds in this echoing corridor as if someone is just chugging a water bottle intensely and extremely quickly. But rather than the suction of a plastic bottle, it's just wet skin. And the blood... Oh, go for it.
I think as I'm watching him do this, I'm going to like kind of like sidle around next to him and kind of kneel down to where like he is. And not quite just like at full like volume, but almost like underneath my breath in such a way that he can still hear, but in a way that in order to hear, he must truly listen, as if to beg for that, for him to listen in this moment. My lord, are you holding yourself back?
He drops the body again with a loud, wet plap. What gave you that impression?
Well, it feels like you're doing this more for my benefit than for yours. It seems like you want to feast, not just suck. You don't have to perform for me. I want to see who you really are. If I'm to follow you, I must know the truth of what you will do.
I'm afraid you want to see more of me than I am willing to show you right from the very beginning of our relationship, Judas. And what if I want to tease the very best part? I'll show you a great big monster very soon. When I tear down the Tremere of New York and I gracefully accept the Duskborn worming their way into the city. But we still haven't gone on a first date yet.
This wasn't it?
No, A wine and a dinner. And I mean a wine and a dinner.
I'll let you know. I am straight.
Me too.
Sounds like a date then.
I have one more question for you.
Of course.
I'm in a bit of a predicament with not a predicament, a small problem with the Arc of Eternity, and choosing one of the advisory council to be James the Lesser, the patron of apothecaries, surgeons, and the such.
Yeah.
I realize that my desire for a Mary Magdalene means that there are odd numbers, but I still want what I want, and I want James the Lesser. You've gotten to see Huntsman, Coin Purse, and Tooth Fairy, haven't you?
That I have.
All three of them surgeons to some precise and accurate description. Adept at many of the medicinal ways that are required, chemical rather, to be a part of the Arc of Eternity's advisory council. I ask you as Judas, the one intended to betray me one day, who would you rather see be one of my apostles?
Of those choices, or of anyone?
Of Huntsman, Coin Purse, and Tooth Fairy.
Of those three, are there any of them that I feel like would be the most entertaining to join this group of people as far as I know it?
Probably Tooth Fairy.
And also, okay. And also, the one that would, I feel like I could kill if necessary. Because adding someone to this group that could throw hands with me could be an issue further down the line.
I don't think you would know, unless you wanted to roll something, what exactly certain abilities would
down.
be.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm down to roll.
This is going to be... Let's see your skills, because I would want this to be politics.
Okay, yeah. Is this wits, politics, intelligence?
This would be wits politics.
Hell yeah. Glad I got it. I'm glad I took that extra in politics. Let's go. Okay.
Get a 4 though.
That's a 5.
Okay. Let's see. I think you would know certainly that Coin Purse has attempted to be scouted by the College of Concord a million times.
Okay.
He would have been probably a better choice for Matthew, genuinely, but he is a Duskborn in the Arc of Eternity, so that wouldn't be an actual option. The Empress of Eternity has, monopolized rather, all of the Duskborn as much as she could. No one in the Arc of Eternity is anything but Duskborn or Caitiff along those lines. I do think you know that the strongest is obviously Huntsman, so she's off the table. Tooth Fairy is mostly fast. She's usually unable to be seen unless she really wants to be. But that's not out of like shadow work and like being able to obfuscate, but Coin Purse's abilities are in being able to obfuscate, and he's a bit more of an academic. Neither of them are, I would say, are that strong as Huntsman and the Empress, but it's just sort of a matter of supernatural invisibility or just just sheer flight and agility.
I think the Tooth Fairy.
I see. Any particular reason?
I just think she's fun.
So be it. James the Lesser will be Tooth Fairy. I'm sure you'll see them around.
I appreciate you listening to me.
I appreciate you receiving.
I'm always ready to receive the word.
I hope a little more than just the word. And then we'll shift our focus over to Candy now. Candy, you find yourself walking down what seemed to be... Let's get the music right. You are walking down the like musty, wet stairway of what seems to be some kind of maybe like butcher-based club. Walking down this set of these like basement stairs, basically, like they're like rocking, like rickety wooden stairs. What opens up to you is just sheer red light. The torture table from Amnesia: The Dark Descent. There are prison cells all around, and some part of it is you realize the aesthetic of being chained up in some serial killer's basement. There are some people who are here willingly. There are people here who are willing but also don't know the full extent of what is going on. But what is in full view now is a man strapped down to a chair, arms out, legs out, and the first layer of skin on his abdomen is just almost perfectly peeled at the top and is protracted open. It's just that first layer of skin, as each layer is attempting to get deeper and deeper inside, as if making his own set of stairs. You are in the butcher's basement, a skin graft, the Nosferatu named Bartholomew. He's asked you to come over, but first, I gotta see the outfit. What is Candy dressed up in, especially considering it is maybe just the slightest bit flooded with people's piss, blood, the inside of like their fat tracks and things like that. What's Candy wearing?
She's giving cunty Dexter's lab coat, kind of like a high heel leather or like whatever plasticky boots and gloves. She's fighting the Toreador ick, like the Bane present, but it's fine. It's part of the mystique. It's part of the allure. It is skin graft shit, unfortunately. So she's come prepared, but it doesn't fight like the skin crawling and the beast kind of backing into her ribs about it.
That being said, give me a rouse check, please.
Oh no! Success.
Success. And thank God for that, to not be made hungry by all this trash all around you, essentially. Skin graft. Hilariously, his name does not give way to the truth. He is a man who certainly, whatever he looked like, whether or not he was handsome or ugly, his entire face blessed, cursed by the Nosferatu ugliness. His entire face is flayed. The rest of his body, there are some patches of what seems to be flaying, some degloving, some things of that nature, but at the end of the night, the only thing that gets put back together is everything but the skin on his face. And you can see that he has a strange setup next to this person who he is just managing to keep alive while on the table, as he is just getting the thinnest layers of skin off of his abdomen. Skin graft is taking these layers of skin and also placing them down in what seems to be some kind of like glue paper bath at the same time. And on another table, there's another setup for what seems to be like there's like weights down and very particular paper-sized dimensions. He is making a book. He is bookbinding with this person's skin that he is using. The dull ambient party music at the top of the stairs, notwithstanding the energy downstairs, is for, well, first of all, those who are not prone to some type of heart attack. Sheer shock you can see on some of these people's faces. Is this real? Is this not? Some of them are so happy that what they're seeing is real. But he finally looks up at you. There's the princess.
Please, you flatter me.
How have you been enjoying your new digs here? It's not Atlantic City.
Well, I'm not complaining. There's not enough time to complain. And I see that you're enjoying yourself. How many chapters are you planning?
I have actually no idea. This whole bookbinding thing that apparently my apostle guy Bartholomew's all about. It's so interesting. If you look up pictures of him on Google or whatever, sometimes it's not even just the face. Sometimes he's just fully depicted as a full skin suit just flapping out in the wind. And I think that's hilarious.
So, what you're telling me is that you're just kind of following the myth for what?
Why wouldn't I? Are you not?
No, I'm not cosplaying some biblical, mythical person.
Well, you gotta admit, it's still pretty funny.
There's a reason you invited me, right? Can we just go ahead and cut to the chase, please?
Yeah. I mean, I was just kind of wanting to get the lowdown on what is happening with this inner circle, outer circle kind of thing. I don't care if you're the one that actually has the most responsibility out of the two of us. That was the case before. But do I need to be looking out for you?
I mean, if you're volunteering, I can't say no to any assistance, but for the most part, I'm fine.
You know, I hear stuff.
Humor me.
I mean, you let Jesus Christ disrespect you last night.
Now, who is saying disrespect?
You know, you've never let anyone touch you like that. And I don't think has that ever happened to you in your entire life. Death.
My internet is shitting itself because of the bad weather. I am so sorry.
No worries. It's still holding on from here.
Maybe I can fix something. Okay, good. Never mind. Then I'll try to focus. We're all playing our part in one way or another. Sure, it's hypocritical of me to say that I am doing such, but at least I'm not trying to Google apostles to play along with.
I mean, whatever Bartholomew had going on for him, he kind of had a point with this bookbinding stuff. And that's not what I am asking. It's not what I brought you here for. Do we, the two of us, have a plan? Is there supposed to be a plan? Is the idea that you lay out to waste and I just help you clean yourself up, or if I die, then you basically, suck me up and then what's the plan?
I've been too busy in the pageantry to actually think. Right now it's survival. And if the slightest weakness comes about, I'll let you know. I need to figure out what's going on between the other three, if anything.
I'm to your disposal. What are you wondering about everybody else so far?
I'm trying to figure out if King is taking this seriously. I can give less than a fuck about Sal, and then Carbon is just a concern with how deep in the throes of beloved it's in.
Yeah, Carbon seems locked and loaded from the beginning. Not a question.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
Why is it disgusting to you?
If you presented some scrawny little white man in front of me and say worship him, I would have a couple of doubts. Feels like common sense. Or maybe I'm just too old.
Yeah, that's fair. It is fair. It's entirely fair. Sometimes you just gotta wonder if someone's zeal is only disgusting to you because it reminds you of maybe something.
I want to know what you're insinuating.
And then I think Skingraft picks up what looks to be, just like whatever surgical tool that you'd like to have in your hand, like maybe a bone saw or something, like a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Just gives it to you. If I ever speak out of turn, You can just go ahead and have at it at me, okay? Don't mess up the paper. I've been working on this for a really long time. Yeah, Jesus is this grimy white guy. But is the carbon hate specifically not just seeing yourself a little bit in him?
They angle the hammer under his chin just to tilt it up a little bit so they can see eye to eye, maybe. Don't ever compare me to that fucking mud ever again.
It wasn't a comparison. Wholly. Maybe. You're just an interesting person sometimes, Candy. Your preferences and the people that you choose to like and dislike or keep around you every now and then, I've seen some of it. I don't know your whole life story. I don't gotta know your whole life story. But if the plan basically is just fuck around and find out, just do the pageantry, see what happens, basically, then that's okay. But do you have a job for me? Something that I can take off of your hands? Something I can look up a little bit? While you do your whole inner circle stuff, the rest of us are just kind of trying to spy on each other.
Then, if you're so eager to do something for me, I want the temperature of the outer circle.
I already have something. I can look out some more, but I have one thing in particular.
Then fire away. And they, lower the hammer.
Andrew, the weirdo that showed up just fully robed, monastic type shit, has, for whatever reason, an undying beef with Judas and has been trying to reach you specifically about it. Because Andrew and Simon Peter were brothers, fish and loaves, whatever. But you've been out on outings with Jesus Christ himself.
Okay. I guess I'll take care of that. That really didn't give me anything other than someone's looking for me.
Everybody else is just kind of taking the opportunity politically to push their own church's projects onto putting it onto the Empress's plate. So that way, if Jesus finds it interesting, then maybe the convent of Newark can make Immaculate Conception happen, finally.
I see.
The
Okay.
actual
I have a lot to
juice. The actual juice is the fact that people are trying to seek you out, you and King out. Because we haven't had a monomachy in a long time, but King and a complete and total stranger, even to all of us, now that would be interesting.
Everybody wants the show. And I guess we have to deliver. I hate this. I hate all of this.
I mean, just imagine the type of treats the idolatress is gonna give you.
You're right. And the smell of piss is starting to drive me crazy. I need to get out of here.
One more question.
Fire
Let's
away.
just say that what if the idolatress gives you Atlantic City after this? Would you take it?
Without question. Yes, I would.
Okay. Interesting.
That's it. That's it.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Graft. Come on.
The idolatress sends her best wishes and wants to reward you handsomely for all of this. We're considering a couple things. Not that I am that important of a person in this exchange. But I'm putting in a good word for you.
And suddenly there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Great. Okay. And I think like something might have like slipped into like her leg or and just curls up.
Something wet and alive.
Yeah. Great phrase to hear.
Okay. Candy, you and Skingraft catch up. He asks the ways in which he can support you, and we'll make our way over, focusing on the Brothers of Vultures. Between Sal and Carbon. Where are the two of you staying? What were your, basically the digs that you desired? They would be made true.
Roadside motel. A roadside motel, plenty of parking spots for me and the pack.
I think it's more access to hunters or other people he's allowed to dispatch. And he doesn't really care where he stays beyond that. So he might end up in that same roadside motel. A lot of drifters come through there.
Absolutely.
Of course you would, Sal. Where else would you stay? With your ex-wife? You can stay with your ex-wife if you want to.
I would rather die again.
Are you sure?
I have never been more sure of anything.
You've both been looking at each other.
Yeah, 'cause I have to. She's in the inner circle.
Not like that.
Cobbin, we're not getting back together. If that's what you're asking.
And here I thought Candy was Simon Peter.
I really need to brush up on my Bible shit.
You can join me.
Do you have a Bible study, Cobbin?
Sorts. What does this mean? I'm not Italian.
What do you mean of a sword? What is...
Not the Bible. It's our Canaanite teachings. What's been passed down to us from Cain.
Okay. Interesting. I'll consider it. I'll consider it.
You're not lumping in with them, are you?
With who?
Them.
Oh, the other two?
The rest of them.
Of the apostles?
Yes.
Fuck no. Listen, Cobbin. And he puts his hand on your shoulder. Very, almost paternal. I don't give a fuck what happens to the rest of them. The less of them, the more there is for us. Alright? You don't got anything to worry about.
They don't seem very orthodox.
No. No, not most of them. I think they're just here for a good time.
The false king drinks cold blood.
Really?
Really?
Huh. Wouldn't have taken him for a bagger, but to each their own, I guess.
I don't know what path they're walking, but it's certainly not the one that we're walking.
Not sure it's gonna lead where they want.
I've got your back if you've got mine, Sal.
I've always got your back, Cobb.
Brothers.
Brothers.
There's a knock on the door from whoever's room this particularly is. Hello? And that is the telltale, lilting voice of Letitia de la Cruz, the director of Vultures, or Mama Letty.
Go ahead and go to the door, and I'll open it, allowing her to enter.
Oh my goodness, the both of you. And again, this like 4'11", very beautifully dressed Puerto Rican woman, like in her like middle age essentially, just goes up to the two of you and like warmly hugs Carbon as you open the door for her, and then goes over to Sal, warmly hugs you, and just squeezes all the cheeks and things like that. She comes with all sorts of like whatever earthly material gifts that the two of you have, not that you actually like them, but you have tolerated. She comes with like an armful of a couple things, basically. Oh my goodness. And she basically just like sets up shop like at one of the desks, basically. And in particular, in her arms is like a big, like thick manila envelope stack of like paperwork, printed out pieces of paper and things like that. Well, all of you have been incredibly busy, which I do so appreciate, and well, the Lord really seems to enjoy your company, which is, you two have already made the mark on that. I call upon now a sort of extremely casual in disposition. We'll call this a little review meeting of sorts.
We're very casual. And you can see that there are moths and fireflies starting to gather around Carbon.
And she admires them, like reaches out for her finger for one of, or however many of the moths to land on her finger. How have things been going?
Swimmingly. Sal has endeared himself to the other two, as well as our Lord. I have played the part of a jealous, beloved narcissist. It's not what I'm used to, but it's the role that I was given.
You're doing a fine job, Goblin. He really seems to like you.
He hasn't asked me to fuck him yet, but I'm sure that'll come down the line once he gets through King and Candy and probably even Sal.
You can have him first, buddy. You could have him first.
He doesn't want to see this hideous visage. Not yet.
But you're the beloved. Why wouldn't he fuck you first?
Thank you, Miss Letty. That's what I've been saying.
Saving the best for last.
I see. He's a romantic.
It seems. He has a particular preference for feeding. Very particular. I haven't quite put my finger on it yet.
It's a whole production.
Not women.
How does our Lord feed?
He drowns him first, that's for sure.
Baptism.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what
sinners?
that does.
Does he not feed upon the unworthy? They have to be baptized first.
Yeah, I don't think, like, it's been a long time since I've been at church, but I don't think they baptize, like, I think that, like, makes you good. I think that makes you a part of the whole thing.
Everyone's
Cleanses.
a sinner. Everyone who is baptized, even a 13-year-old child who has not done anything in their entire life. The baptism also just readies them for a sort of, it could be a coming of age or transformation in Jesus' eyes.
Like, keeps him. He didn't eat him right then. He had him transported. So I think he likes him bloated.
We have plenty of footage for you. I'm gonna go ahead and grab like a Chromebook or like a laptop or something. I'm gonna unfold it, and I have had yeah, it probably would have been Kelly. Had Kelly edit and splice all the footage together, so it looks like a skate video from 2001. Kelly probably even put like CKY in the background or something like that.
Excitedly, Letty basically sits in a way that she can like get the two of you to also like look behind her shoulder, basically. And she just like looks with adoration at the work, at the study, the academic report of it all. Oh, the artistry, Carbon, per usual.
Thank you. Thank you, Mama Letty. I appreciate it.
I did get not the proper police report from this night, but I did just get essentially the whisperings of folks who are going outside of their jurisdiction, the people, the hunters, who have heard whispers as everyone speaks. Everyone opens their mouths, unfortunately. And the interesting thing about all of this is that everyone was extremely lucky about how this night turned out. Though I will phrase it or frame it in this way. We will very soon need to find out how we are going to structure Jesus's day-to-day. All of you are extremely lucky because most of these people were, to whatever degree, unaccounted for. Vagrants or people who had already blanked out their identities, that sort of thing, to live the life or try to live alongside the life that we do. And you know, I do grieve all of them. This is language that Letitia has imparted with the two of you before. It is not within the actual ethics and morals and principle sets of the home of vultures, the path of death and soul, to miss anyone who is gone, to patch up, to heal anyone who was meant for death, meant for their death to be studied. Letitia has let go many an army, many a militia of fresh shovelheads go to the wayside, as she has been told to do. But in this little corner of the world, this little paradise set up just between the three of you, in all of this, I do hope that the Empress will listen, more so because we have taken the Duskborn to Patterson. We are getting them treated. We are getting them in more hopeful spirits. They are unfortunately already born. Our rights are not secrets. They should be, but to those who have lived long enough for Odessa Moniade to know how intimate they are, what it may mean to us. Our Empress will punish them with the body of Jesus Christ. The two of you know Odessa Moniade to be one of the Tremere chancellors of New York City. Hopefully the Empress will listen to the cause. We can no longer go armies of shovelheads, armies of fake Sabbat members, whatever that means. We need numbers. We need our armies. And some of that is just to grieve them when they are gone. Hands upon hands, lifting up the black sword. Anyway, it is convenient that there will not be any particular case as of yet. This is the first instance of Jesus in public. But do we think we might have a plan for the next time this goes awry?
Well, I hate to break it to you, Miss Letty, but it's gone awry twice now, in a row. And Candy's little club, I think Cobbin and King did a very good job of keeping that on lock, but I think he needs a real tight leash.
It's hard to ask that of Jesus. The two of you in his eyes are brothers, his closest counsel, who experienced his agony in the garden. Could the two of you, I feel like this will be a lot easier for Carbon Sal, I know that. Just gentle suggestions, pivoting elsewhere to more secluded locations. Or rather, if Candy doesn't mind, or if King doesn't mind, housing a select group of customers to keep it as lucky and convenient as it has been only this past day. Would that be feasible?
I don't see why not. I mean, he likes you a lot, Carbon. He went on a whole car chase with you. I'm sure you can find some remote places to do that.
I can, and the other two seem to like you more than me. I'm sure you could keep them occupied, especially Candy.
Carbon, I swear.
I see things.
I haven't asked you about it all, Sal, out of respect, but has it been okay working with Candy again?
Good lord. I'm perfectly fine. She's kind of a bitch. And that's about it. I mean, this is business, Miss Letty. That's all.
It's also politics.
That's true.
There are goals that the Homo Vultures reminds the two of you of, but it is unfortunate how aimless Jesus is. Steer him in the direction of the Duskborn, to view them as sheep that need his shepherding. To care for them. A little more church.
A Sermon on the Mount.
A Sermon on the Mount.
Feeding of the 5,000. Something to really spread the message.
We need a lot of bodies.
And they all
Where's
need
the
to
most elevated
truly, really believe in him. The most elevated place.
Yes, I was just thinking one of the most elevated places here in Jersey City. The city is frustratingly flat, though.
If not the most geographically elevated, the most populated that we can get away with, maybe. We'll do some research. In the meantime, is there anything that you would like me to do for the two of you? Any resources that you need to support yourselves or just to entertain Jesus? Maybe he would like to experience a hunter.
I think he would. Be a good, little diversion for him. Yeah. If we can get at least one remote, like you like, Miss Letty. Or he can be a bit of an animal.
In summary, maybe Jesus is gay. He likes to drown them. He prefers to feed on them a bit more in a, from what I'm understanding, theatrical, isolated, when they're a bit more waterlogged and bloated. Seems to like everyone but Carbon. Quite yet. Or rather...
Oh, no. No, Miss Letty.
Likes me too much.
Likes
There you
too
go.
much. Use that to your advantage, Carbon. But remember, it's business, it's politics, but it's not religion. Not true religion. Not true love. I will leave the two of you with that thought for tonight. I think he will call upon all of you for another sort of meeting. He wants to do more formal things, it seems like, but we'll see how it goes. I talked myself into a circle, but did the two of you have any ideas for Letitia about how she can support you? Or what to provide?
No.
Other than the hunter?
Can I get a list to you here in a little bit? I'm going to look over some things and see if there's anything that comes about.
Yeah, this will be like a walking open thing at any point. Letitia is, for whatever reason, much more attentive than the other archbishops. Or rather, bishops.
Te amo, mame.
With all that being said, some more apostle love and interaction awaiting. We are going to take a little break here. In 10 to 15, you will be receiving Jesus and our apostles once again. Take a break, get some water, and stretch. We'll see you in 10 to 15. Hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for the raid. And Extel, I love you so much. I'm glad that you had an amazing time. All right, so some Bad House RPG announcements. Kids on the Stoop is Bad House RPG's talkback and review show. Fabian and Kendo's episode about gemless games is up now. Our next guest is going to be Kai, or Estelle of Enladras, on this Friday. That will be the premiere of that episode, and the topic is going to be culture in TTRPGs. And again, just another shameless plug to please subscribe to Bad House RPG's YouTube. We got to 316 subscribers from last week, so thank you so much for that little push. We want to get to that beautiful little 1,000 to get some YouTube monetization and support, so please keep telling your freak friends about all the amazing Vampire the Masquerade drama that they are missing out on. We last left off on some more interactions between the apostles and the inner council. And we're going to get back into it. Later on in the night, all of you are once again called on for another impromptu, or rather the first impromptu apostolic meeting. All of you are beginning to realize the spontaneous nature of Jesus's callings upon all of you, which you're realizing not only would have broken up the regular schedules that all of you would have had in your original municipalities, townships, and cities. Your lives built for Jersey City is specifically so that you can be at the beck and call of Jesus Christ. Again, walking through the long corridors of some Ark of Eternity location, every address is different. Every basement is different. You are walking through what seems to be an art district, some art installment that will get torn down by the end of tonight. All of you receive some VIP pass, essentially, to get away with not having to have that much conversation, having to get away with the access that you have. But down to the basement that all of you go. A beautiful long table where Jesus stands, just sort of leaning his elbows and arms and hands onto this grand, mostly like made up of like dirt room, like a very unfinished basement, but there are sconces. There's a very medieval artistic atmosphere to everything, and the table is just glistening with what seems to be like artwork inside. All the engravings of this table are immaculate. And Jesus stands before all of you at his patriarchal seat again, still sort of wet and blood dripping down his center. That wet mid-length hair again, sort of dirty, sandy brown, blonde. No shoes. Low-rise jeans. A bit of a man slut for today's Jesus. And all of you start to come in. Whoever is late, whoever shows up first is fine. But this is the first time since the blood feast and then the blood orgy that all of you are in the same place finally. This time, clear cut in what is the seat of James the Lesser is Tooth Fairy. Tooth Fairy, who was part of the advisory council of the Ark of Eternity, the Empress's, one of the Empress's council members, a young girl in her 20s, or her apparent 20s. And instead of a wooden mask and wings, but still in her tried and true chain of necklaces of teeth in many, many rows and different sizes, is this brown-skinned girl with a big flashing smile, as if she's there for some kind of field trip or vacation or something along those lines. Tooth Fairy, a Duskborn. And she sits right across from you, Sal, James the Great. There's no particular pattern. There's no assigned seats. I guess the only question I really have is, who shows up first of the four?
It's Sal and Carbon.
We show up together.
Okay.
Sons of Thunder.
Sons of Thunder sit next to each other. Tooth Fairy sits right in front of James the Great. Candy and Sal. No, Candy and King.
I mean, since I'm on everybody's mind, of course I have to sit next to Sal. Like, of course.
Oh my goodness. So,
You
Sal,
Nudge.
Carmen,
Shoulder
Candy,
nudge.
Tooth
Elbow
Fairy. Oh, a little crucifix with Sal in the center. And King?
I'm gonna sit next to Tooth Fairy.
Okay.
Opposite of Carbon.
Okay. Do all of you decide to sit the closest to Jesus that you possibly can, or more towards the middle or the end?
I mean, we're the inner circle.
Close to our Lord.
Close to the Lord. Okay. Everyone else cycles in. Yes, King?
If everybody else is choosing to sit closer, I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to sit on the farthest end
Okay.
of the table, away from everyone else.
I want you to know, King, when I see you do that, I make sure we meet eyes and just nod. Like, not really approvingly, but like acknowledging what you're doing.
The politics of sitting down at a table. I love
Yes!
it so
The
much.
politics of sitting down at a table.
The actual episode title.
Then
I think
comes...
actually,
No, please.
I think actually what I do is I see like the inner circle going to sit down, and I do come by to go to do my hellos. Good evening, good to see you all. And then I go back around to the furthest side of the table.
Then comes Akihiro, College of Concord, does not sit next to King. Then comes Bartholomew, or rather Skingraft, the other, your brother in the Club of Rapture, Candy. Then comes Mary Magdalene, or Pauline, and Thomas, or Devon, of the Church of Baal, the Convent of Mortification, with Benedetta, or Jude, and Moar, or Simon the Zealot. Then comes last, from the Monastery of Perdition, Andrew, that robed figure, still robed now, and Philip, entirely covered in bandages. The Monastery of Perdition, specifically, choosing to hide themselves completely. Jesus calls upon the apostolic meeting. Well, all of you again in front of my eyes, so beautiful, so well storied, and so eventful so far. Well, he gestures grandly towards himself, asking for compliments and praise before the words even has to leave his mouth. How do I suit all of you tonight?
Deliciously, my lord.
You carry an air of humble regalness.
Thank you, the beloved.
A shepherd of men.
Valiant. I like it. Looks at Candy.
Well groomed, my lord.
Interesting. Everyone else just kind of follows along grimly. All of you very clearly have a closer role or closer hand in Jesus's dealings, handlings, events, and things like that. Well, there is much to say, there is much on this unwritten agenda. There is a conversation that still needs to be had about how I will be best outfitted and suited to take down the Tremere. I have done my base studies, and I understand that I must be of more wit. I must be taught more of the magics and the nature of the sense. I must be able to smell out blood and seek out vessels and recognize them. I must... all of the things. But I suppose that conversation can come at any time. I learn so much from when I speak with all of you. Especially of your ways, how you hunt, what I'm to expect. And he looks over at you, Sal. He has a little chuckle to himself as he sees the seating arrangement. Then he sees Judas all the way down. And I will say, Judas, that Andrew does not sit with Philip, and Andrew sits across from you. Jesus looks at Sal. You, I believe, have had the closest hand to New York City, the closest experience.
I have.
What is the culture? Or rather, what was your experience like, James the Great?
They're very political. And very watchful. You won't just be able to waltz in there. But I think they're weak. They're not Canaanites.
Not be able to waltz in as I like. It seems unfitting of me. My desires and... well, I am their lord as well. What would impress this Camarilla? This New York City? How could I get an invitation?
Power.
Power.
No, she's real fond of that. And not just ripping people apart. I know you're good at that. Command. I look over at the rest of the apostles, and I look over at our little tooth fairy. I think command of some of our dusk-born brethren. Show her that you're a leader. That'll get you an invite.
Tooth Fairy, for whatever reason, takes that as a moment to stand. Again, this is a short and extremely young-looking Cainite in front of all of you. There is an eclectic sense of fashion. This is someone who definitely takes trash and turns it into treasure, that sort of thing. I'd like to firstly thank Judas Iscariot for aiding our Lord into choosing my hand at this table. I will be your James the Lesser. I will be your surgeon and your patron of medicine. There is a little clap from everyone. Carbon, what do you say?
Qualifications?
Asking of my qualifications? Or Judas's?
I know Judas's qualifications quite well. I've seen them in action. I don't know who you are.
Yes, that is by design. But I am happy to show you my face this time. In fact, I would not be afraid to. She looks at you, Carbon. I can do many a thing, just as the Empress has imparted onto me. Would anyone like a meal? Not just a blood meal, a true meal, a meal from their past. A meal that they found delectable before in their previous times in life.
Why not? Calling from down all the way down. Yeah, let's do it.
A steak. A pasta. Alcohol. Candy. Not Simon Peter, of course, but lollipops, licorice, tea.
Let's go smothered pork chop.
I only brought a very select menu for today, but I will keep that in mind for next time.
I've heard everything I need to hear.
I will keep
I'm
it
kidding.
in mind for next time. And I apologize for not realizing that there would be specific requests, but I will keep it. Smothered pork chops for another time. And then just
Carmen
suddenly...
just writes in a notepad. She doesn't say anything, just writes in a notepad.
Deductions.
Deduction.
There's suddenly a swarm
For a chance.
of what seem to be like packmates or false sabbat, like just perhaps duskborn, people who are like have some kind of closeness or proximity to humanity that bring out food that none of you can smell, none of you find an actual human appetite. You don't find it interesting, but there is a nostalgia to food that a lot of you, some of you, might remember or look upon fondly. A wine from France. And then Tooth Fairy sort of walks and flits around. She's also not wearing shoes. Someone notices that she just has like a large piece of glass stuck in the base of her foot that she hasn't actually done anything about yet. And she provides little, what seems to be like in a beautiful, like medicinal glass, essentially, like places it in front of everyone. For those who would be interested in imbibing, please take upon this medicine. Who takes it?
I need firsthand.
Okay. Sal, Candy, were there any... Yeah?
As well.
I wait until other people have done it, and I do like a solid 10 count before I'm watching the rest of the table. I even look at Jesus to see kind of how he's reacting to all of this.
Jesus is there's a whimsy to this that he hasn't experienced whimsy quite yet as Jesus.
Oh, that's true. All right, after everybody's done it, I'll do it. Fuck it.
Everyone takes it in interest, and then suddenly, as soon as upon taking it, it's almost as if the liquid form turns into a gas, and then this distributes through what were all of the blood pathways in your body. And then there's just like this sudden ability to smell and attribute that to taste, and then appetite again for food. Whatever your nostalgia craves or jumps towards, these plates of either meat or vegetables or candy or alcohol or whatever in particular. In this state, you are also, whoever is the closest to being sexually aroused as well, you are finding yourself able to just slip into that state if food brings you there, if scents bring you there. And I think there's also like the smell from all of the like people who came out that have this closeness to humanity, whether or not they are vampires specifically. There's a smell emitting from them. They are also just as delicious, but the food on the table. Who would like to reach out for the food? Who reaches out for what first?
Carbon will reach out for a bit of meat. Now that Carbon's been sitting at this table for a little bit, the moths and fireflies are back. They're starting to gather around and everything and flitter. And then it's just going to modestly lift the mask up a little bit and slip it in. There might be a moth that's on it that fits into the mouth.
You fit it into your mouth, and it just brings you back to a moment, a time in your life where the soft, chewy tenderness of cooked meat and its gravy, you masticate, you chew, and the food, the spit in your mouth brings it down into the digestive enzymes. It goes down your throat, the tubes that were there for once breathing and eating and are now mimicking that again. And it goes down into your stomach. And there's a feeling in an hour from now you will have digested it. You won't need to throw it back up. There is no desire to do that. And Tooth Fairy just looks at you. And what is the reaction?
Just a nod of approval.
She takes it as if it were verbal praise, and she just looks down at all of the rows of people enjoying. Some people don't take for the meat, some people take for the alcohol. And just revel in the taste again. Revel in the way that it just lubricates down or is completely that fruity dryness that they miss, the ability to be drunk without the vehicle of another person's blood. The memories that surges through. What does everyone else grab or gravitate towards?
Okay.
I just saw Kendo thinking really hard. I didn't want to interrupt it.
Hey, when you are given the chance to eat for the first time in decades, what do you eat first? Is a great question. If you all have answers, I'm still thinking.
All right. Candy's reaching for like one of those like long, like unicorn kind of swirl lollipops because it's phallic, and she's not really caring about the food thing. It's been a long, long time since they've considered or even missed it, so it's more like an oral fixation on just like the ridges and everything.
Your tongue swells with the blood and the taste buds needed to enjoy the sugar. The taste buds to feel the sweetness. Again, not through the perfume of someone else's blood, but just through the sheer taste.
I think it's steak. Sal hasn't been dead very long. And, this is a very distinct memory that he might still even want it sometimes. And I think, it's after Carbon has eaten other people have to make sure this is not some bullshit. And he actually, looks impressed at Tooth Fairy.
Her big, wide smile with all her teeth. Teeth more than she should have.
Impressive trick.
This is only an example. Just the surface of the things that I can do for all of you as James the Lesser. Does that meet your qualifications, John the Beloved?
It's not my approval you should seek. But for now, it still suffices for me. As long as it suffices for my lord.
Jesus is drinking wine. And he is letting it just dribble down his fingers, down his arm, towards the white, rolled up sleeve that he has. His view on everyone is from the side of the flute. He speaks, I think we have an extremely impressive group. And we can do much, especially with the hiding in plain sight. Tell me true. Does anyone have any concerns for this well, we'll say, the Duskborn that will travel in, they will show us, they will remind us of a human flesh, the proximity to morality that I'm sure most of you have not touched in a very long time. As Cainites, as believers of the Black Sword. Any concerns?
Not so much a concern, but more of an amendment to what was said earlier, if I may.
Of course.
The Ivory Tower respects their foe's sophistication. I was held behind those walls upon my embrace many, many years ago. And while I do respect that Sal flouts power as the thing they respect, they also respect the social dances. And I think that's something that and then like she kind of takes his shoulders almost to like give a little grip talon-wise on him. We can show you together.
Candy does know her social dances.
Jude, Benedetta, who is, all intents and purposes, someone dressed as a nun, but she carries a studded crop with her everywhere she goes. She has long, black hair, and although her positioning as a nun, although her desire to wear the habit and all of the things, blasphemy takes its root everywhere all of you go, and she wears a very revealing dress underneath all of it. Specifically, large breasts with harnesses and straps, really the only thing keeping together any semblance of infrastructure of what she's wearing. The rest of it just sheer garment. Yes, there is a concern. Jesus raises a glass, allows her the floor. What are the boundaries, my lord, of this love for you and losing ourselves to humanity, specifically losing ourselves to the ways it was before you? Jesus says, there was no way before me. The way that you found all of yourselves in is this distaste for sophistication that I understand. I'm not the best at it either. I am just as much of a creature that desires and wants things, but I desire and want things because what I want is for all of us to meet, to see the great end to our great enemy. This love that all of you have for me, let it take you to rapturous ends and beginnings. Whatever your concerns are for undying love to me, and whatever New Jersey, in the state that it is with this infestation, the presence of the Black Hand, everything that was before me was also in preparation for me to come. Worry not, fear not of your love for me. Let it begin you, let it end you as well. That answer does not please Benedetta. But she doesn't answer. She doesn't say anything back. She doesn't respond. Simon the Zealot, or Mawar, someone who similarly wears only leather, sitting next to Benedetta. There is no response as well, just sort of seeing the two of them whispering to each other and their concerns for how maybe how far is Jesus even letting this go? And the two of them are they're resolute in their answer that this motherfucker is crazy. So whatever happens next will potentially be the end of them, and that is not something that they're happy that
Are they like actively like whispering to one another where it's
Yes.
like they're just like gossiping and everything like that?
Yeah.
Call him out.
Yeah, I think Carbon is just going to scooch the chair back, long sustained drag across the floor. Is going to stand up and is going to walk over behind the two of them.
Okay.
And I'm just going to look at Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, who is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one gets to the Father except through him.
Jesus looks at you, Carbon. Yes, do you have something to say, beloved?
Not for me to say, but it seems that these two have something to share with the group. Or else, am I mistaking a meeting amongst apostles for a school class, for notes to be passed back and forth between two petulant children?
How tall is Carbon?
Carbon is about 6'5", 6'6".
Benedetta is not as tall as you, but certainly a tall woman, 5'10", 11. And with her general aesthetic, there's always heels. She stands to meet you in your eyes, rather looking up, and her studded crop almost... It doesn't leave the table exactly, but she puts her hand on it, puts it on full display. It seems that the Lord's beloved can't mind its own fucking business. Your Lord, I believe that we can have our concerns as the apostles did. And Jesus smiles. He doesn't move from his patriarchal seat, but he shrugs. Well, what is it exactly do you have concerns of? That, I believe, will see to it that punishment is in order, or if perhaps my John, my beloved, is right or wrong. And I hate to think that my John would ever be wrong. Mawar stays seated as Benedetta puts a hand on their shoulder. Our abbess mystic sees in her visions, ever prominently, ever constantly, that perhaps this entire project will be more hurt than it's worth. Jesus leans down on his elbows. Project? What a curious word. Benedetta doesn't take her eyes off of you, Carbon. We are going to use a discipline against you. Give me a hot second to pull stuff up. But in continuation, Project, I find no other suitable word. For, my lord, you are a raging monster in the streets. And that is what we are, and that is what we do, but with purpose. I would like to see some fucking purpose in this room. There is dawdling. There is walking you around the city as if you are magnificent. And if you or any of these people in this room are meant to kill me for my insolence, let it be right now. She'll be making a roll against Carbon. To stand your ground. Let's see. Give me a composure and resolve. This will be sort of a willpower roll, but not exactly.
Is this a dominate or presence?
This is a presence.
Presence? Okay, so I can add 2 dots. What was that roll?
Composure resolve. Or rather, I don't know if there would be a perfect skill for this. But let me know. I'm trying to also pull up.
I've got, I just have a merit called Tempered Will, where if somebody uses the
Perfect.
Dominator presence against me, I get to add 2 dots to my, roll. And I am also going to Rouse, because I am at
Cool.
0, and I have nothing to lose. Perfect. Okay, that's 2 more die. Okay.
That's so interesting what I rolled. You have to beat a 2.
Okay. I will also re-roll 3 because I can. I've got willpower, so I'll re-roll it. Okay. That's 7 successes.
You see what is the attempt at almost the feeling of it trying to put lightning into your brain. There is an attempt to put fearful visages of domineering female figures, something of abuse, attempting to draw out a memory. The complete opposite of the nostalgia of food, starvation, hunger, famine, sleeplessness, all in the effect of one look. And what does it look like? What does it feel like for Benedetta as you overcome it?
She's surging all of this towards my brain, and it's just like it's like a thunderstorm hitting a wall, just a resolute concrete wall, and all she sees behind Carbon's eyes are just flames in the irises and that stalwart pure white, just resolute, the sclera around, there's not a bit of vein in them, it's just strong intensity pouring directly back at her.
Benedetta sits down. Her words still echo throughout this strange, unfinished, dirt-filled basement art project, whatever the fuck this room is supposed to be. Jesus smiles again, proud of you, Carbon. John, do you see it fit that we punish Jude tonight?
I see not punishment for Jude, but only a lesson in humility. If that we are to remember the teachings in the verses of James 4:6, God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble.
Indeed. Jesus gestures to Benedetta, who just clutches her head, looking down at the table. Moir looking to her. I see that you have doubts and fears. I feel that all of you are uncertain. But I merely ask for all of you to examine as John does, as our new James the Lesser. Examine myself as your shepherd, and all of you as excited babes, as newborn lamb. We will make it through all of this. We will conquer not only one enemy, but all of our enemies. The rest of the night, while there is still people who are able to enjoy snacks and things that they haven't had, meals and alcohol that they haven't had, it feels strange, all of you as vampires, used to not having food for a long time, but very used to the social tension, the turmoil, the fighting inside of minds. Not only are continued conversations about Jesus' future, I think, essentially met with the same strange, obtuse, and vague plans of just greatness and more greatness. But James the Lesser, as well as Philip, speak out to just talk about general apostolic interests. Benedetta, who refuses just to speak for the rest of the evening. James the Lesser speaks for her. My lord, the convent has had a long since studied project with the Ark. We are interested in allowing for Immaculate Conception to be a reality. For Cainites to give birth. And Jesus is pleased and shocked at this possibility. I would like to see that happen soon. In fact, there may be very willing suppliers for such a task. We will speak. James the Lesser curtsies. Philip stands, the man entirely covered in bandages, being sat next to the entirely robed person sitting across from Judas. Judas, you can give me a wits insight or wits awareness.
I would love that.
About this Andrew, this robed person. In the meantime, Philip tells the Lord, the monastery's interests are in our eventual preferable decade-long prolonged torpor. The monastery sees to it that we are unbothered, that we are left alone. We seek hopeful collaboration with the Home of Vultures. If we are left to survive whatever experiments are necessary, of Cainites in torpor, we would allow it. But we would just like to be left on the ground after all of this. And Jesus smiles. There will be no end, exactly, but we'll see what happens, I suppose. What did you get, Judas?
7 successes.
Okay. Andrew, this person sitting across from you, is doing their damnedest to stop from shaking in their fear of you, their uncertainty of you, their what looks to be anger. Everyone has a problem with Candy and King tonight. But you wonder what this is. You've never met this person. They came late, just maybe a couple seconds earlier before you, but your lateness was designed, this person. You watched as they ran in with an attempt to hide most of their appearance. What for? But they shake silently to themselves.
Can I help you? You've been eyeing me all evening.
Dramatically, this person finally removes the hood. Underneath the robes is a person with white hair, tied up in sort of a low ponytail, with buff shoulders and an impressive arms, and this person died with a strong sense of health, it seems. A sort of androgynous, feminine face. Not very tall, but there would usually be a serene face here if it were not for the uncertainty that they feel, the fear and anger towards you. There is a set of sunglasses just tucked into just the divot of the shirt that they're wearing. No, you can't help me.
Okay.
Because you're in my spot.
I'm in your... Oh. Is this because I was chosen instead of you?
Exactly. I came all this way.
Oh, please continue. No. Justify your feelings here.
Andrew stands. This person named Andrew, whoever they are. Andrew looks at Candy. After that single touch from the original Bloodfeast. And then turns to Jesus. My Lord, I would like to seek counsel with my brother, Simon Peter. I would like to seek counsel with you, but I need to just make sure of something.
Now hold on, wait. You're gonna start this conversation off by saying that I shouldn't be where I am. And then you're just gonna wander on off to talk with Simon Peter?
Yes.
No, please. Stay. I'd love to know why you think you belong in my chair.
My lord, brother, we all know it by the name, we've seen it from the very second Judas laid eyes upon you. This man, if history is to repeat itself, is meant to betray you, is meant to kill you in some fashion, with a kiss or otherwise. This monster is not fit to be part of any inner circle, of any inner council where you will outfit yourself to destroy our connected enemy.
If you were in my chair, you'd also be Judah. It doesn't matter who's sitting here. Jesus chose who he chose for a reason. Now, if our dear Lord chose me because he believes that I'm going to be the one to betray him, why should that matter to you? He knows what
Jesus.
he's up to.
Jesus
Or do you
nods.
question the wisdom of our Lord?
This Andrew bites their lip in that, because there is that truth to what you're saying. Jesus nods. Andrew would remain Andrew, but I suspect jealousy. I suspect concern for my own safety that does not need to be had. I am safe. My choice is sound. Having my betrayer closer to me than yet another fisherman. It makes sense to me. The person who is Andrew. Go for it.
Well, there you have it, Andrew. Sit down.
Andrew does not sit down. I came all this way to see a great beginning. I came all this way before I hoped to be put in the ground for decades, that I would be a part of a great purpose, and I am in fact not even a part of its machinations. I just don't understand why I was called here.
That's not for you to understand, and you are here to listen and to follow the word of the Lord.
Candy stands. Judas, as much as you love to be the center of attention, I think I'll take that conversation now. If you'll join me, brother.
Andrew's shoulders relax, but there is still tension, there is still uncertainty, fear, anger, as Andrew just rushes away into some room, maybe a foot higher, but just with the expectation that you will follow. Candy. Andrew takes you into a room of artwork, specifically of what seemed to be bamboo, plum blossom. Andrew takes off the rest of the ridiculous robes from their body, revealing just scars, self-flagellation, fire, and burns. Not anywhere near the face, or anywhere that could entirely be seen, but there are still, from what look to be almost self-inflicted bite marks onto the shoulders. Will you listen to me?
You made it this far. I'm all ears.
We have all, even Benedetta, even Mawar, those who are named Jude and Simon the Zealot, those who have some ability to portent the future. This will all not go the way that we want it to.
In what way do you want exactly?
I want the flesh of Jesus Christ. I want Philip to sup of the flesh of Jesus Christ. And then I want the both of us, for the rest of the monastery, to be put to sleep for a very long time to hide away the power. But before even all of that, Jesus's awakening is left unexamined in a way that all my visions, what the shadows, what they portend, leave me still with questions. And I've realized that that's his goal. That's perhaps the Empress's goal, or all of these people that you call your bishops, your cardinals, whatever all of this is. But that is a monster who will brew of great power. And it is in my visions that the man named Judas will take all of us down into the ocean with us, with him.
Visions. And what clan do you draw from? Out of my curiosity.
I am an orphan. No Duskborn. I come from a bastardized attempt to turn me into something of the shadows. But from my very awakening, I refused.
Well, aren't you just audacious from the start? And I think Candy reaches out with her nails and they fit into the grooves of his scars and curl in just a bit. And speaking of your audacity, for you to step to me and request something of me. It's cute, but I don't really see where you stand. And if little Andy here could roll composure intelligence.
Of course.
I'm going to browse. Okay, successful.
That's
I'm gonna
4
round
successes.
again. Cool. Actually, I won't need to. Let me get this roll right. I'm very new to holy moly. Actually, I can just custom it. Give me 1 second.
No worries.
That is 8 successes
Okay.
on a bloody crit for dementation.
Okay.
And I will go ahead and get to that. It's
Just-
a very specific part. Go ahead.
No, I want you to tell me what this looks like, what this feels like for good old Andy.
I think as Candy claws in, and since he's a caitiff, there isn't a compulsion they can pull from. But from the basic list, there is insurmountable regrets. So that's the compulsion that she inflicts on him as she just goes in deeper and spitting and cursing at him for even coming close to even questioning or thinking they were on the level to question her. And it just closes mentally. The claws in his head scraping against his cortexes and nothing but her eyes shining like smoldering coals.
That bloody critical, Candy, you can't help but be your own conductor. The violin music, the cello, the piano, the orchestra that you were concocting, and the deep, warm, purring voice of that man in your head. Good. Andrew falls to his knees before you, clutching his head. As he just kneels in, you see his shoulder blades just full of fire and burns and scars of self-flagellation inflicted on his own, perhaps from the angle you're noticing from different people. And so I am not punished by the Lord or Satan himself, but my own brother.
Isn't that what discipline is?
I promised myself I would walk away from just the pain and the hurt, but no. I will have to kill you and Judas and all those who support you. Maybe we can all be buried in the ground together. We will all go into the sea willingly.
And you said we're in like this kind of bamboo shoots and stuff.
The paintings, the artwork specifically,
Okay.
is what seems to be of bamboos and plum blossoms and like other related flora.
Oh. I think you make a very decent comedian. I like to see you try. And if not, me king, which will be even more hilarious. You should be thanking me for your pathetic life. But I don't want to hear you talk. She just steps over him, maybe like kicks him with the heel on the way out, and just leaves it be.
Every sound he makes of protestation, every question he wants to ask of you, cool and non-committal, Candy. You walk away as you make this caitiff, this orphan, an enemy in his own body. And I believe that is where we will end our chronicle for tonight. All right. Thank you everyone so much for coming in. Thank you, Raid. Thank you, Lurkers. I have been Josephine, your storyteller, your alchemist empress, your Jesus Christ, your tooth fairy. I will pass it on over to Binar.
Hello everyone, I'm Binar. I have been Sal, and you can find me everywhere, Sassy Lich. And you can find my beautiful wife on the screen, Ben.
Wow, you guys, that was crazy. Wow. Hey guys, I'm Vin at VinVoxVA and on the socials at Blue Sky, that is VinVox.com, which is also my website because I am also a voice actor, tabletop performer. Wow, so much is going on. Just catch my Blue Sky. What are you up to, Kendo? Take it away, Kang.
Hi everybody, I'm Kang the Conqueror. You can Everybody, my name is Kendrick or Kendo, whichever you prefer. You can find me everywhere on the internet that matters at Kendo Makes Films. And you can listen to my actual play podcast, Tales Yet Told, wherever you get your podcasts. And you can find it on social medias, wherever you, at Tales Yet Told. If you go somewhere and you can't find Kendo Makes Films or Tales Yet Told there, sorry, you're somewhere that doesn't matter that much. Go somewhere better. We have a new episode coming out next week, actually, of Dream Investigator, a Lynchian dream analysis solo TTRPG that I did make into a duet game that's kind of about corporate medical horror. You'll see it when it comes out next week. And you can also find me every other Tuesday over at Live from the Apocalypse playing Monster of the Week with a good gang of folks playing Sayre House 5? Who knows? We had someone go missing last time, so... And you can also find me here every Thursday. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. This was great. And of course, I must pass it off to, the best of us. The beloved, John the beloved, Carbon, or Wes.
Hi, gang. My name's Wes Franks. My pronouns are they, them, and I portray a little sweet baby boy called John the Beloved, aka Carbon, whose pronouns are he and it. I had so much fun. Thanks you for inviting us to our not last supper, but our first supper. I'm very stoked to be able to join all of my wives here on this show. If you want to see more of me and games I play with my wives, then you can find me at carrion-comfort.com. That has links to like my Ko-fi shop, or if you want to commission me to do stuff, whether it's like actual play, like production or anything, hit me up. I'm also on the Gauntlet podcast 2nd edition. You can hear my sweet dulcet tones coming through. If you are somebody that are like, I do something interesting and I do a lot of interesting things and I want to be interviewed about a specific topic, I don't know, hit me up and maybe we can make something happen. I just have to clear it with my boss. I'm also the zine fiend for RPG Zine Club with +1 EXP. What we do is we have 2 games each month come directly to your door or to your inbox. And we help up-and-coming creators or established creators get connected with one another and go through the process of publishing a game. So, I don't know, you can go ahead and support us. Every new membership means that I get to feed my family and put food on the table. So, yeah, hit me up.
Watch Kendo's episode about jamless games on Kids on the Stoop, and then this coming Friday, you'll see Kai talk about culture and TTRPGs on Kids in the Stoop. Subscribe to our YouTube. Bye.